All right, so let's do a quick shorty about some of the stuff that I do with background vocals. So I'm just going to focus on editing here and what I tend to do in terms of editing. So I'm not going to talk as much about plugins and treatment and effects and stuff like that. I'll do that in another video. But basically, I just wanted to point out a couple things that I tend to do with background vocals. So I have this session here that I'm working on for some clients. And basically, this is the background vocal. These are the background vocal tracks. And I'm just going to bring them up so I can see them next to the main vocals. So here are the main vocals. I have them grouped, so I'm just going to click and drag them out to make them bigger. So these are the main vocal mics. This is my background vocal mic. And you might notice that the main vocals, they're kind of just one big chunk of audio, right? But the background vocals, what I've gone through and done is I've chopped them up a good amount, right? And so the whole point behind doing that is to help them line up a little bit better with the main vocals. And so a lot of what we can do there is just through like simple nudging of the actual audio files, moving them ever so slightly. And a lot of it's visual. You want to always listen back and check, but a lot of it is visual. So the background vocals are really low in the mix in this session. That's how we wanted it. So I'm just going to play them by themselves.
Can you love yourself when you're too invested in someone else?
And so basically what I've gone through and done is, you can hit tab to travel through these different spots. Since I'm not in tab to transients, whenever I hit tab, it moves me to the next break point in the actual clip. And basically what I've done is I've gone through and kept these grouped together so that these two tracks here, both of the background vocal microphones move at the same time. Once I have them in phase with each other, I will group them together. So any edits usually apply to both, right? And I've just gone through and kind of looked at where these different spikes are for different sounds, right? Certain sounds will look a certain way. And I've tried to line them up a little bit better. I don't do it perfectly because that would be a little too fake sounding, a little too choppy sounding. So you'll notice like this guy here, it's kind of starting a little bit after this one, but that's fine. This one has been moved, right? So you can see how it's been chopped up and moved. And then I've added a crossfade here. So I've moved this one either forward or back, probably forward a little because it's a little behind still. This one, I'm not sure which way I moved this one, but the basic idea is you want them to kind of line up just a little bit better. A lot of times you don't need to do this. This example, we actually did these background vocals to a previous vocal session, and then we added the main vocals in through a new vocal session, so they didn't quite line up the way that they would have if the background vocals were done after the main vocals. But even when they are done after the main vocals, sometimes they don't quite line up perfectly. We often want to finesse a few different points in time, So like, for example, if the background vocals are holding a note much longer than the main vocals and they don't want that, you can go through and add fades to that, chop it up a little bit, adjust it. And one thing that you'll notice as you do this type of work is that certain sounds you can kind of just chop up in the middle of the sound and then adjust and it'll be fine. So like if you find something like a lot of vowels work this way, because they're kind of sustained like oh, vowels. They're these sustained sounds that are pretty repetitive. So like this, it's like invested, I think. So there's like an going there. So what you can actually do is you can pretty easily, I'm just going to do this really quickly and then undo it, but you can break it up. So I hit B to break, and then you can make it shorter if it needs to be shorter to line up with the main vocals a little bit better. And then you can usually you can trim it out a little to adjust where the actual edit point is. But you can usually add just a little crossfade and it'll sound fine. So that's one thing that you learn to do is kind of strategically choose. Sorry, I'm just undoing that. So that's one thing you can do is kind of just strategically choose where to put your edit points. So you can put them between words, between sounds, between phonemes, or you can put them in the middle of some phonemes. Some phonemes will let you do that. Some things that change too much throughout the sound, you don't want to do that too. So something like a st, you might not want to do that too, because you might end up cutting off the t part of it, or the, actually the S sound's pretty easy to cut into. So like s can be pretty easy to cut into and adjust the length of. But yeah, that's basically it. You want to kind of edit and chop up this stuff and make it line up a little bit better. It depends on the production, it depends on the style you're going for, and it depends on how the actual performance was done too, right? Sometimes you want it to be a little sloppy, but this is one of the things you can do. And then the other thing that I tend to do with background vocals specifically is if you have something like a word that's starting with a harsh sound, so something like a transient sound, like a t sound or a p or a b, where there tends to be like this quick burst of transient sound and energy. I don't know how to word it better than that. But basically what can happen is those sounds are so quick and they have such an impact that cuts through the mix with those transients. So especially like the t sound, it has like a lot of that upper transient cut to it. And so what'll happen is if the background vocals are ever so slightly off from the main vocals with that one sound, you'll actually hear kind of like a flam effect when both of them go into play. So it'll be like t-t, and then it'll be the word, So what I do a lot of times is I will actually just cut off that type of sound, especially if it's at the beginning of a word. I will just cut off that sound from the actual background vocals. And so that'll either be me adding a fade that reduces the level of that sound, or sometimes depending on what else is going on in the mix, I might cut it out entirely. You don't want it to be obvious, so you want to always listen back and make sure it sounds okay. But that's one thing you can do to kind of help keep those background vocals from taking attention away from the main vocals. Or at least I found it to be helpful for that. So that's one of the things that I'll sometimes do. It kind of just helps glue the background vocals together with the main vocals a little bit better. It helps keep them from taking attention away from those main vocals. It helps keep you from getting that weird flammy effect, So yeah, that's basically it. That's all I wanted to talk about for this video. I hope you guys find that helpful. Let me know what you think if you do this type of stuff, or if you think it's awful, let me know. I'd love to hear it. I'm always looking to improve how I do things. I'm certainly not perfect. This is just how I've been doing things lately. So I would love to hear feedback in the comments below. Just let me know. Let me know what you think. Other than that, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I would appreciate all that stuff. And I do have that Patreon, so it's patreon.com/CatoNoise. And my patrons do get access to additional content, early release videos. We chat on there sometimes. So if you want to check that out, I'd really appreciate it. And I think that's about it. So I come out with new videos every Wednesday, and thank you for watching. Okay. I got like boogers in my nose. I got boogers in my nose.